Ephesians 5, spend some time talking about husbands and wives. And we're going to be getting into Ephesians 5 later as we go through this series. We're going to be talking more in depth about it. But in Ephesians 5, it paints a picture of a husband and a wife, and it compares it to Christ and the church. And it's this very interesting picture that it paints about what Christ did and his function, how he laid down his life, and what the church is called to do, and how the church is called to respect and honor Christ because of what Christ has done. And this picture of husbands and wives and marriage is put in there. But then 5:21, it says, and each of you should submit your all to Christ. It's this picture of equality and submitting to Christ, and then each of you submitting to each other. And it's this beautiful picture that's painted of Christ and the church, and the bride, the groom and the bride and the groom. And this picture that's painted to help us understand how we're supposed to live and how we're supposed to be married. And it's this beautiful picture that God paints. And what I want to talk about, what I want to kind of lay out today is this idea that marriage was created by God. It was done for us so that we can be better together. God did this for us so that we can be better together. I think that's a very interesting thing to think about when it comes to marriage. If you think about Christ being first in everything, if you think about Jesus being first in everything, which is exactly what we talked about last 60 days when it came to priorities, we talked about the idea of Jesus being first in your life. If you were to make a list, Jesus would be first, but beyond that, if you're really truly looking at it from the eyes of Christ and the eyes of what it means to be a Christian, there is no list. Christ is the list. And it's Christ in everything that you do. It's Christ in how you live. It's Christ in how you work. It's Christ in how you interact with each other. And what we're saying now is it's Jesus first in your marriage. See how nicely those things go together and connect? I think it's really difficult to have a healthy marriage without honoring Christ first in your life. There are people that are not Christians that have very good marriages because they practice biblical principles, whether they know it or not. That's just a blessing that God has given us on this earth. But like as a Christian, if you truly want to have an amazing marriage, then you're putting Jesus first in everything that you do.